Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I think I gave you a call. I just have it pulled up here. Yeah, I appreciate you calling back. I'll be super brief. I know it's a bit late. Just wanted to ask if that property's still available or if you guys already happen to find somebody you're working with. I do see it on the market for quite a few days.
Yeah, I wasn't really pushing it. I just actually I just cleaned up my ad. So I don't have it listed with a real. I want to list it with a real.
I hear you.
I had a buyer on the hook, but he decided he wanted to go further south. We were just about ready to have a contract, and he changed his mind at the last minute. So
Okay.
it's still available. Did you want to know anything about the property?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an agent just kind of trying to get some more details. I did have a couple clients shopping in this neighborhood, and I did see you had it for sale by owner. So just wanted to kind of see what your thought process was. I mean, if I did connect you with somebody, I see furniture in there. What would the closing process look like for you on this? Can you guys kind of do the 30, 45-day standard, or would you need some extra time?
No, another home now to go to. That's what threw me off. This guy just texted me the other day. He said, "Can you close in 30 days?" I said, "Yeah." He was, going to call me back and say, "Okay, go get the contracts and let's get going with it." And he decided not to. So yeah, I'll offer a commission, obviously, to a realtor that comes to the door.
What was your name? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it in the beginning. I'm actually Alexis. If you don't mind, I'll be direct with you. I know you've probably gotten so many of these calls. Is there a reason specifically beside the commission that will prevent you from partnering up with somebody that can get this property exposed in front of the right buyers? Or it's really just the fees?
If I was to list, I'd be obligated to. They're very well known. They work for Sotheby's, and he sells a lot of property, a lot of shorefront property. He lives on the water himself. So,
Oh, okay.
You got to know a little bit about waterfront property.
100%.
Where are you from?
I'm from Miami, but I have a team. I operate a real estate team in New Jersey, so we do a lot of business around this area. Yep.
I just came back from Miami. I was looking at a house in Boynton Beach.
Okay. Do you have anybody helping you down here?
Yeah, I do. A kid named Jared. Nice kid.
Nice.
He showed me about 15 homes.
Okay.
We narrowed it down to 2 homes, and I thought this guy was going to pull the trigger.
Okay, and I'm assuming you don't need to get rid of this one to pull the trigger on the one in Boynton, right?
Well, I don't need this house to buy that house, but I'd hate to go, trap myself. It's a pretty expensive house. I'm trying to, I know what you're thinking. A lot of realtors will get bigger exposure, which is probably true. Even on my own, I had it listed with a realtor. She was horrible. She didn't do much. She was trying to let the house.
I just found out the truth. Watch this.
And it almost did. I got like 3 offers. Nothing I wanted.
You said you had this one listed with another realtor?
Last year.
Not the Sotheby's guy.
No, my friend's wife.
Okay.
Yep.
Dave, it might be a weird question, but I mean, you sound like a very smart guy. You obviously own very nice property. How come you haven't just thought about putting it on with this guy? I mean, obviously commissions is one thing, right? But if you get the exposure and you get the right client, especially on a home like this one, I mean, you could end up obviously getting more money and having a smooth transaction. How come not just give him a shot?
That came for him with that now. I'm debating whether I should go with it or not. I used to buy and sell properties. I used to have multifamilies in Bloomfield.
Okay.
So, I had 3 multifamily houses. I got divorced and came down here and sold them all.
Okay. And Dave, you haven't thought about just hanging on to this one? I mean, I know you want to sell it, but you could.
That's a double-edged sword. I love it here.
That question gets the motivation, the real motivation.
I thought I was going to get into a bidding war and go over $1 million because I had it listed for $999. But then the market, I listed at the end of the year, which was a mistake, and because I want to enjoy it for the summer, and I have a boat and stuff, And I think the market got attacked, so it's not much because there's no real estate. I mean, they just sold an empty lot around the corner for $750,000. They said an empty lot behind me has no views except for the lagoon for $550.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's. I don't have a front door. I got a side door.
Okay.
I have a 2-car garage, which is rare, and I think a lot of people were turned off by no front door. That's my gut feeling.
Dave, let me ask you this: when your agent, the lady you listed with, when she sat you down and walked you through the price bracketing strategy that she ended up recommending $999 for this property?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I lowered it down to $975 for a short time.
And how many days after you guys launched did you do the reduction?
I only did it with 3 months with her.
Okay. Most people think that $999 would be the best play, but depending on what she showed me for price bracketing and the actual active buyer analysis that was in that neighborhood, I can't imagine $999 getting you in front of the right eyes because you're missing everybody that's looking at $1 million. That's kind of why I'm kind of running through this. I'm looking at the pictures here and I'm doing some homework as I'm talking to you. The only difference between working with one realtor or the other or for sale by owner, it's two things. It's really the exposure that you can actually get on the home. And then when somebody inquires about the property, the person communicating with the buyer and the buyer's agent, how well versed are they at, I don't want to say this word, but how well versed are they at manipulation and asking the right questions and getting to
Oh, I know.
you hear me?
Right.
So.
You're 100% right. How long are you a full-time realtor or part-time realtor?
Well, I'll tell you this, Dave. Not only am I a full-time agent, but I train other realtors on a full-time basis on how to do this as well. So yeah,
so I'm gonna say you know your stuff. So.
well, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I know, Dave. This is about you and your property. It sounds like you obviously have a really good plan B with the other agent for Sotheby's, and it sounds like you wouldn't be open to a second opinion at this point. Is that right?
No, I'm not. I'm always open to another opinion. Yeah, so I'm just I cleaned up my Zillow. You know what? I'll be honest with you. What's your first name?
My first name's Alexis, Dave.
Alexis?
Yep.
That's my girlfriend's daughter's name.
Yeah. So. My
know,
parents are Cuban, and in Cuba, Alexis is like a
yeah,
diamond.
I know. I have a lot of Cuban friends. I was gonna say you must be Cuban.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends from Cuba. I have some older friends that escaped from Castro. I'm a little older than I sound and look. I look like I'm 55 and I'm 67. I'm gonna be 68 this year.
What the heck are you? What the heck are you doing taking all these calls then, Dave?
Yeah. Well, I have a young girlfriend, so she keeps me.
I gotta hop on another call here. All I'd love to really do, my partner Justin's in the area this week. I'd love to get some eyes on the property. I'm in Miami right now. I'll be back in Jersey next week. Would it be fair if I got Justin inside the property to give me some eyes on the home? And then maybe you and I can sit down and I'll just run you through what I do differently with no obligation. I don't know if it would make sense for me to take on this deal or this listing.
I'm going to be honest with you, Alexa. So many people have tried to do that. Some people even brought people in here like potential buyers that I knew weren't potential buyers, agents. They just want to sit down and do a market. I got about 50 market analysis over here, and everyone's different.
No, and I hear you. And at the end of the day, I think what you care about is actually getting this property sold, man. Here's
what I'm going to tell you. If you got a buyer and we work a number, the closer that number gets to asking, the higher my commission goes. It starts at 1% and goes up from there.
Right. Well, I hear and I appreciate that. I'll leave you with this thought. I mean, I understand your perspective fully. At the end of the day, the way to leverage yourself as a seller is to have somebody exposing your property. Let's say I did bring one of my buyers and, my fiduciary was to negotiate against you. That's not correlating with your objective. And I'm sure you know that. And I'm sure you've heard the pitch 150 times. But it sounds like you're kind of on the edge of listening with the person that wants Sotheby's, which I think is not a bad move. In my opinion, I don't know if you feel the same way. If this person would have been the go-to guy off the bat, I think you would have worked with him first. And I don't know how many realtors you've given a real fair shot. And frankly, I'll be honest, I don't know how many realtors have sounded like I have on the phone. I don't know if you could agree.
The kid from Sotheby's is a kind of a high-end company down here. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I don't know.
Very familiar with Sotheby's. It's going to come down to the specific agent that puts this property on the market with the right pricing strategy, and more importantly, the agent that's able to communicate with the buyer's agents and the buyers themselves at the highest level possible. That's what it's going to come down to. Flash marketing, putting your fucking property on emails and newsletters. I'll be honest with you, that's not going to get the job done. It's as simple as pricing the property at a price point where people are going to see it that can qualify for it. And then when they actually call me on the phone and I get them inside of your home, my ability to ask them the right questions, because when people buy a residential home, they're going to have a financial aspect to it and an emotional aspect to it, especially if they're a growing family. So that's where I can find the leverage, and that's where I can find the extra 8 to 10% on top of what you would net yourself, or with an agent that doesn't know what they're doing. All I'm proposing is sharing that information with you. If we sit down and you feel like I can't do this at a significantly higher rate, you wouldn't have a problem telling me that, right?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't you come by when you get back from Miami, and I'll let you look at the property. You tell me where it should be.
Okay, why don't we do this? Let's put something tentative on the calendar. I'm going to be in town on the 14th. What does the 15th look like for you?
That whole week, I could meet you in the evening.
Okay, let's just tentatively put 6:30 on the books. Text me or email. I'm going to send you a video. It's going to be a 5-minute video because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste my time. I'm going to give you a high-level overview of what it is that I'll talk to you about on next Thursday. If you feel like what I share with you in that short video doesn't make sense for us to meet, just let me know. But if not, I'll see you next Thursday at 6:30. Is that fair?
Yep.
Okay, Dave.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
Yep.